little bit of serious golf with aim as the main factor. So I've got a 7 iron, it's 177 down off the left. So I'm going to aim at the humps on the left of this green, nowhere near the flag. It slopes to the right and the wind's going to move it. In theory, I'm aiming across this tee and not at the green. I'm actually aiming at the left mound of the green. There goes the wind. That's actually going to miss on the right, soft bounce. Hit middle of the green, it's now going to run off down to the right. Hopefully from today's lesson you might start rethinking the way you aim a little bit while you're at the range or doing your practice. Certainly if you're not getting out on the course that much, some dynamic ideas. So just past pin eye off the right, I'm now going uphill and it's going to break slightly to the left, so I'm going to aim for more pace and slightly up the right side. So par 5, hitting a drive. I'm going to aim mine literally over the corner of this gorse. The wind is going this way off the right. So I'm aiming kind of middle right of the fairway because I want that wind just to move it back. Also, there's a bit of room left and right, but there is a ditch up the left. So I'm going to favour the right side a fraction more. Little left, so I've missed it slightly on the left side, but that's going to hit fairway. So let's talk about what aim actually is. There's a few elements to it. Face is going to dictate start direction. So if I want the ball to start up the left, I want to deliver that face slightly left of, say, your ball to target line. So I might start with that face aiming left. Now if I want it to move, I might use my feet to encourage different paths. And then you've got to remember, on the grass out here, you've got loads of different slopes. You can hear me saying I'm going to aim left, let the wind move it back. This one I was aiming middle, more right. So those lines are constantly contradicting each other. I've got to work with each other at the same time. So once I've got my face down, if I'm going to hit a straight shot here, I'm going to point my face at the target and then I'm going to try and get feet, rest of my body parallel to those lines. But then sometimes I'll feel maybe that I want to swing and have a bit more rotation on the way through. It might be something I'm working on my swing with. So aiming those feet slightly up the left on that situation might do that. So you've got to choose if you're using your face line to aim, if you're using your body line to aim, if you're using a combination of the two and they're in line, or if one's contradicting the other, which one's going to dictate the swing lines you want to apply. So which one's influencing path and face, those kind of things. And for so many golfers, they're not the same lines. They are very much different. Some people are more influenced by face, some people are more influenced by feet. It flicks from player to player constantly. So wind off the right, this is my hybrid. I'm going to take dead aim. There's a bit of room on the left and I don't want to be missing it on the right. Now I've hit that nice and straight. Take that all day long. Just up the left side. Again, just taking my bail. So well, not big, it's a small pond, but it gathers up, and the depth over there I'm trying to avoid. There's a fraction more room up the left, which I've caught. I have now got a chip with this slope to contend with. So, not the best miss, but I'm still in play. Take that all day long with my chipping. One on camera that was actually decent. Just the one. So we're now wind into and coming off the right. I'm going to use my power hybrid. Now you'll see us do this on tees. So I'm knocking a little bit of turf up, because my shot from the ground with this club, so this club being my 19-degree hybrid, has a slightly different shot pattern to off a tee. Off a tee it's straight to draw, and off the ground it's straight to kind of maybe a drop-off fade, wind off the right. I've opted to put it on the ground. Then in turn, my aim's going to change. So if I had this on the tee, wind off the right, I'm going to have to aim up the right where the out of bounds is. But now I'm just going to aim straight dead centre to left side and feel like I'm holding it up against the wind. And that's because I'm going from tee to ground with my 19. Perfect, dead straight shot and the wind, so it's a bit of cut but the wind's keeping it straight up the middle left side. So I've got dynamic aim for different clubs, and I've also got a dynamic aim for if I've got them from the ground or a tee. You see the detail that some are going into to try and work out the conundrum of consistency. Lots aren't. Lots of players aren't consistent. Even though they do have a consistent shot shape from these situations, they've just not learned how to manage them. Right, 135 yards, wind into off the right. I'm going to hit a little punch shot. That means the ball's back in my stance. That means my path will go more right and it will tend to draw. So I'm going to have to aim at the right side of the green. Slightly below my feet. It's going to make me not aim kind of at the fence, the out of bounds. It's more middle right of the green. Punch it in. Trying to let the wind not really take it. Work. You might need to go a little, but it's online. Get up. Yeah, I'll take it. It's a very narrow target and I'm happy with that. So some of the mistakes I see with aim that really do get me frustrated, because I think it shows how the golfer doesn't understand the dynamicness of golf. And that's sometimes the fault of coaching and equipment as well, where we all talk about such precision with numbers and that you've got to get your aim right. I see it in juniors a lot. It's these kind of things that I struggle with. Not a fan of this at all. The precision in this, when we're talking of a delivery of 4 degrees out to in, creating loads of curvature if the face isn't aligning to that. This just takes time, it tends to waste time, and it kind of misses the point of, are you trying to control aim with this or this? If you're trying to control it with this, having to be that precise to function. The best in the world aren't relying on their feet to that degree. Parents doing stood behind, juniors left a bit, right a bit, left a bit's going on. Let the kids aim and hit it, and then afterwards have a look where you were pointing there. Was that where you were trying to hit the ball? Why did you point your feet over there or not? Let them self-discover, let them make mistakes. Often if you correct those mistakes for them just constantly, they rely on you. They don't learn to do it themselves. So a little bit of helping with alignment, certainly for any players, but certainly I see it with juniors. But let's not get carried away. Left a bit. Because also what happens when they do this is they're not changing ball position. So ball position line is moving. If that's ball position line and I'm moving like this, so that's now near a right foot, that's now near a left foot. God knows what's happening to the face as well. Get them to come back, maybe go in and have another go. Right, if you're the range guy with all the lines down on your mat, practicing your aim, that's all fine. Keep doing that. You see the world's best do that. Find your parallels, work out where your parallels, your ball positions all are, and practice them. That's good. It's a productive thing. But don't just rely on that. Watch this look. So the parallels of this tee and the way the tee markers are set out points me basically here. The trouble with here, if I hit my ball there, I'm going to run into the gorse. I'm going to hit that gorse. So I need to now aim across all these parallels. Often when I used to teach a lot in mat bays and in range bays in studios, all the straight lines of the wall and the mat, people would naturally start to align with them. You just get them to a guy. I would always play a game where I get them to move across the mat, aim left, aim right, take all the lines that they've got on the ground away, aim across the lines of the range. And I was always amazed how much it threw each player and how one side was easier to aim than the other. When I go to a range, I'll use the lines of the bays, but I'll very much move across them as well to practice that dynamicness that I see out here. Remember to go and watch the golf. Benson Hedges, when it was at St Mellion when I was younger, Nick Fowler practicing on the range, everyone was hitting down the range, he was hitting dead across it. He wanted to hit a certain different wind because it was off the left, he wanted to hit more into it. And I think he wanted to aim at a precise target a little bit more, not just be forced where the range was pointing him. Got to get dynamic, because you've got to be dynamic out here. And the lines, there's a few around, and then when you get out on the fairway, often there's none around. So you've got to be able to use your parallels, but you need to be able to play when that safety net is not there as well. where the aim now contradicts. Again, different clubs, the aim is serving different purposes. I tend to stand a little open to the left with my feet with the pitch. I am going to try and drop this left of the flag because the wind's off the left and green moves away to the right. But where my face will point 10 foot left of that flag, my feet in their kind of open stance, opening my body stance. I'm almost pre-setting a little bit of extra rotation with my setup. Feet are aiming off at the gorse bushes here, so I'm not using my feet on this instance to aim. I'm using them to help assist a certain delivery. Tick. Take that. So yet another example of where aim is dynamic and it's not all about your lines that you're drawing down at your feet or on your range.